Some of the key things that we've been working on have been promoting the Sustainable Development Goals, but actually not adding to staff workload, but promoting what's already out there, what staff are already doing, and being able to celebrate those things. We have been then cascading that to our trainee teachers, and we are cascading our training and our passion for the Sustainable Development Goals to those trainees, so that in turn they then take that passion and that information and their education into schools and will pass that on to our younger generations, who will then cascade that out further into their schools, into their communities, into their families, into their religious settings.
Some of the key things our colleges have done as part of this project is provided an enormous umbrella for all sorts of different themes and activities, some of which we were doing, some of which we've embedded as part of that. From the executive team, we've now a strategic priority, and we are embedding in policies and processes and reviewing a lot of the things that we do to ensure that they're sustainable. We're doing customer reviews, supply chain reviews, particularly a lot on buildings, because we have a lot of them, in terms of targeting what will make the biggest difference to reduce our carbon footprint. On the other side, on curriculum side, a huge amount of things based on every single SDG really, and it's really caught the kind of interest and enthusiasm of staff and students, and they've been raising money for men's clubs, to food donations, to cleaning canals and water out, to a whole range of different things, recycling, making massive sculptures. So every kind of aspect is kind of filtering down and getting embedded into the curriculum, formal curriculum, the kind of pastoral curriculum, and the enhancing that. But as a whole community across the wide range of colleges, staff and students and families and communities, all sorts of fantastic things have happened, which will carry on.
The thing that's had the most impact has been working with the other colleges. Shipley College have just been massively helpful and really willing to share everything, as have the other colleges in the group. We started looking at how we're going to start getting our staff on board with SDGs, because until they're on board, getting the students on board is going to be tricky. We're really lucky we've already got an SLT team who are, they're on the ball with it, so it's a good start, I think.
So we've tried to incorporate the Sustainability Leadership Scorecard. So we have different areas of that. So we have estates, learning and teaching, communications and partnerships as well. So a few estates things, we've had student projects, so litter picking around the estates. We've had big bird watches, so student projects, displays around the college. So there's posters, displays that the students have done, and also what staff have done as well. Learning and teaching wise, we have sustainability PSHE lessons that are going forward for students. We also have an amazing marketing team, so they put all the SDG things that we're doing on social media. They've made us some posters, a permanent poster banner as well, which has been key. They've designed us leaflets that we can have at open events. So it's just trying to emphasise everything that we're doing already and making more students and staff aware across the college, and then extending that to businesses as well.
This project is bringing together sixth form colleges and further education providers within West Yorkshire. It's highlighting the opportunities that we've got to work together collaboratively to create a brighter future for young people in learning more about sustainability and the impact that they can have on the environment and on their community. And it's also helping to upskill some adults who are already in work or are currently out of work, and giving them the skills that they need to be successful and become economically active.
I'd say it's also empowered our network of sustainability champions. So we've got 2 or 3 in each college that will now take forward the learning from this to cascade through the colleges. So we've got a strong champions network as well, which will be a lasting legacy from the project.
The big benefit and impact of working together is everyone's got their specialisms, and we're able to feed off one another and share best practice.
It's made us realise that there is a lot more going on in our college that we haven't necessarily linked explicitly to the SDGs. I think that the number of staff who've been involved in this have been very supportive of one another. We've been able to magpie ideas from each other, and we've been able to then roll that out into our own colleges and measure what the impact has been in doing so.
I think it's also been really helpful, actually. There's lots of different perspectives within this particular group, so not just people on the sort of the teaching front, but also estates representatives, senior leadership representatives as well, and it's been quite nice to get an idea for the sort of context they work in within their own settings, and again sort of gives us more to come to our group with in terms of ideas that each representative in each department could be working on in Bradford College.
The interesting thing about this one is that we've worked with lots of other colleges, which has just been great. Sharing resources, things that you can kind of nitpick and pinch that and borrow that and then enhance that and then pass it on again. So it's almost become like a pass the parcel. You see things come back full circle and think, oh, I did that bit. But it saves people energy and work, and then they can actually use resources and use things that we've discussed and talked about. And you take something away, and the idea, I think, has been that we bring something but you take away far more than you kind of brought to the table, and that's definitely happened.
Working with the other colleges has been really easy to do. Regular update meetings, online forums, and getting together in person is always really valuable, but you know, I think since lockdown and the use of things like Microsoft Teams, things have been made a lot easier. The sharing of files, the sharing of resources, I've only been an FE for 7 years, but it's gone from a sort of people wanting to hold on to the nice resources that they've got to now it's almost like an open. Everyone's very willing to share the materials, which again, why reinvent the wheel? And I think everybody's realising that.
So I've really personally loved working with the other colleges around West Yorkshire, and I feel like it's been key on making this project as successful as it has been. It wouldn't have happened without everyone else's collaboration. We wouldn't have done as much. So in this 6 months, how much we've been able to do, it'd have been reduced dramatically if just one college were doing that. And then even though, let's say, the funding finishes, we've still got another 2 years then that we can network, and it's just an ongoing process then. So hopefully we'll continue to network, share best practice. And I think it's been key that it's not been a competition. We've all been sharing ideas, moving forward, what's worked, what hasn't worked, and just learning from each other. So I've really enjoyed it. I think it's been key to making this project a success.
We've had colleges presenting and sharing their ideas with others. So we've had our super champion, Natasha, teaching all of the other colleges about how to score their colleges and measure. So the collaboration makes us stronger together. It allows us to share best practice. It also allows us to work at pace, because we're not having to problem solve on our own. We can buddy up with others to problem solve, so we can work at a much faster pace. It's also very enjoyable. We are humans, so working together, working with other people, it's more fun than working on your own.
Even though we've been doing this ever such a long time, we've still had things that we could learn from other colleges that are closer to the start of their journey. There's so many different skills within each different college that are coming together perfectly and tessellating really well to create one really powerful and purposeful group that's really pushing this forward. So we've found that we're very much complementary.
So moving forwards, our college has created our sustainability sort of influencer group within the college now. It's got representatives from all different departments, which has been really, really valuable in finding out further still more good practices happening around college, but also start thinking forwards in terms of what we can do to continue to develop even once the project is finished. That group will meet now quarterly with a vice principal chairing it. And it's been great because we're able to see not only how teaching and learning can be used to instill the sustainable development goals, but also what as an institution the college can do to sort of practice what we preach in so much as well. So looking into how we can be more responsible in terms of our procurement of resources and starting to embed the SDGs into our strategic roadmap and into our policies.
The plans for us going forwards are to further develop some of the new stuff. We have got things like eco committees and climate emergency committees. What's happened as part of this is we've now got smaller working groups which are much better at acting and doing stuff, and then feeds into the bigger committees. And one of the key things is the kind of monitoring and measuring, which we're in the process of, because we're such a big organisation. The kind of data side of it is something that we are chasing. When we get that sorted and can kind of do the detail for individual buildings and departments, then we can look at setting more targets and looking at monitoring and really assessing the impact. We know what we're doing is having an impact, but actually that bit we're still on a journey for, and we've run a long way, but we've still got a long way to go.
We're going to deliver a retrofit tutorial to members of staff and an SDG tutorial as introductions to the two topics. We'll also be able to gauge sort of staff knowledge on those areas, and hopefully we're hoping that the sustainability champions, or we haven't got a name for them yet, but we're hoping that they'll be putting themselves forwards in these sessions. And then the next round of CPD is in a few weeks' time, where we're going to be going into curriculum areas and seeing what they're already doing. And then we'll have workshops about how they're going to start embedding it more in the areas that they might need to be embedding it more in.
One of his big plans is making a travel plan for the college, so that's going to go on the website as well once it's done. We have a new Shipley College website, so we're going to have a sustainability page on there. We're trying to embed more sustainability actions in teaching and learning. So we've got a WWF Sustainable Future Careers that we're rolling out next year, and I'm working with tutors to embed that and do that in inductions as well and throughout the year. I'm working with Teaching and Learning Head to look at how we can put SDGs into student inductions as well. And I'm also going to be working with HR in the future to make some mandatory training for staff as well, and just make it more prominent in staff inductions.
So currently we've managed to have over 600 people that we've cascaded the training to. Most of those are teachers, so if we just took a really cursory figure of every teacher will impact 10 students' lives, that's really, really small compared to the reality. But if we take that 600 and every one of those touches 10, that's already 6,000 students whose behaviours, mindsets are going to have been changed for the positive, whose horizons have been broadened to the role that they can play in becoming more sustainable. So that's massively powerful already.
The group will continue to meet, and now that's just the start of the journey for each of the colleges. So the learning will keep going, because we've empowered through the project a number of people to have additional skills on sustainable development. So right through to senior leadership teams have been presented to, and students have been presented to, and even canteen staff have been presented to, so they'll think about their choices of purchasing. We've delivered carbon literacy training, so into the future people will understand about the impact of their eating habits or their travel patterns, so they may make different decisions. So in a way it will have influenced behavioural change for a positive, which is a difficult thing to achieve. So bringing these the thoughts about sustainable development and climate change to the forefront of somebody's mind will help them be like a pioneer for sustainable development initiatives. Really, probably will have had an influence probably forever on their thinking processes.